Hey guys, welcome to this video. Today we're going to talk a bit about vector databases. And before that, have you wondered how do companies like ChatGPT, OpenAI, store data for their large language models and how do they recall them? This is where the vector databases come in because they are very different from the traditional databases. Instead of storing data in traditional formats like rows and columns, vector databases represent data as points in a multidimensional space. And they excel at similarity searches, where the goal is to find data points that are most similar to the given query input. Today, we're going to take a look at such a vector database called Antarys. We've been working on Antarys to build a very fast database that works offline, and you can use your custom data to basically make your own AI application. It's meant to cut down latency, get much faster AI response, and be much more accurate than the traditional vector databases out in the market. Specifically, with the idea of consuming much less CPU compute, Antares outperforms pretty much every other vector database in the market. So we're just going to take a look at small examples to basically build your own custom RAG application or basically ChatGPT application. So we're going to use the OpenAI API. I already have a example set up, and you can actually find it here in this link. So we're just going to follow up the exact same example. You can go to docs.antarys.ai. I'm just going to paste the link down below so you guys can take a look into it. So what we're going to be building is a very simple RAG application where we are going to click in our custom data, right? So ChatGPT doesn't really know about what a HNSW is, which is the algorithm that we are using, or what Antares is. And if you go ahead and look it up online, or if you go ahead and just use ChatGPT, I don't think that you're going to find what Antares is all about because it doesn't really know. So we want the custom data to be hooked into the ChatGPT and continue chatting. So we have this little example, and we're importing all of the important libraries. So we are installing OpenAI, and then we are also using the Antarys Python client, and we're initializing a class. And during the init, we're basically connecting to the local host. So basically, this is where our server is going to live, right? And this is where we create a collection. So this all basically just examples of how to use it. And this is not really a tutorial where I can show you the basics of how to use Antares or a vector database by itself. That's outside the scope of this video. It's just to show you how Antares works. But if you guys want, I can actually make other videos about it. And this is basically the initialization function. And in the embed, we are going to take in text, and we're going to create vector embeddings with the help of OpenAI's text embedding model. And in the add function, basically what you're doing is we're taking in a documentation ID. So this is what it is, right? And we're adding in some content, and we're inserting it directly in the vector database, and we are creating vector embeddings using the OpenAI API. And this search, basically, this is where the magic happens. We are searching through the relevant data from the database itself. So we're basically returning all of the matches, right? And the generate is basically, it's calling the OpenAI completion API to create chats with the help of the GPT-4 large language model. So we're basically just taking in the relevant documents, adding that to the context, and basically generating AI responses based on top of that. And query is basically the function that takes all of these in. It first takes in the documents, right? It searches it through the database itself, and then it basically creates the answer from the ChatGPT API. So it's taking in the documents, as you can see here, and then it's creating the context here. And then it gets passed into the ChatGPT API. And we're returning the answer and the docs. So simply, what we're doing is we are adding these two documents, here HNSW and Antares, and we're querying for what basically Antares is. And you're going to need the Antares vector database. You can download it from antares.ai. and you can basically download it for only for Mac and Linux for now, but in the future we are going to support Windows. So I'm just going to start the server. So the server is running, and then we can go to here and just run the script directly. So basically, we asked ChatGPT what Antarys was, and it returned this answer. Antarys is a multi-model vector database that uses a statistical algorithm to enhance its performance in performing semantic searches based on similarity, so, which is correct. So this answer was actually generated by OpenAI and ChatGPT. So ChatGPT didn't really know what Antarys was or what a HNSW is, but because we fed the context the um, directly into the ChatGPT API, it was able to answer that. And you might be wondering, why can't we just, building when we are building large language model applications, why don't we just feed all of the data directly into into the context window? But think about this. This is just two simple documents. What's actually going to happen when you have hundreds of thousands of documents or millions of documents? What's going to happen then? The problem that vector databases solve is that it leverages its similarity searching to find relevant documents for you first and then passes in the context later. So it actually saves a lot of computational power for large language model applications. And you can add any sort of data you want. So let's just say that I want to add this data, right? And I'm just going to call it self. And I'm just going to say my name is Adib Mohsin, or I can just call it Adib. My name is Adib Mohsin, and I am a student in the BRAC University, and I study computer science. Right. So instead of what this answer is, we're also going to ask who is Adib Mohsin, right? Obviously ChatGPT doesn't really know who I am, but we've given him the information that yeah, this is who I am, and I study in the BRAC University. I'm just going to create a new docs collection because this collection has already been created, right? We can rerun the script. And ChatGPT answered from, yeah, Adib Mohsin is a student studying computer science. So this is where you can also see where the source was actually pulled from. So when I asked ChatGPT what Antarys is, it got all the answers from Antarys and HNSW, and it would also pull some information from Adib, but the similarity score is pretty low. So it actually makes sense because the question was all about Antarys, and it did try to find relevant information from these two documents, but obviously this score is quite low, right? So it only found like 14% context in Adib, which obviously is not really a good enough similarity score. But then again, I asked the question about Antares, and it also tried to find some similarity, some relevant documents in the AHNSW. But the question was about Antares, so it's fine. And when I asked a question about who Adib Mohsin is, so what it did is that it went to the source of Adib, this specific document, and then basically created an answer, basically fetched the data and put it in the ChatGPT context. So what it does is actually, you don't have to ask ChatGPT to find relevant information for you or any large language model, but a vector database is going to fetch it for you. That's going to save a lot of time and a lot of compute. And it also added the similarity score. So as you can see, Adib scored the highest. And obviously, I asked a question about Adib. And you can just add much more information to it. Like, let's just say, BRAC U, BRAC University is a private located in Bangladesh. And we're going to create another document, and we're just going to run the script again. So as you can see, it found relevant documents from the BRAC-U source, but ChatGPT also knew about BRAC University. So as you can see that saying BRAC University is a private university located in Dhaka, Bangladesh. It was established in 2001, information that we didn't even pull in. So this is quite interesting. So ChatGPT already knew about BRAC University, and it also fetched information from here. So BRAC University is a private university located in Bangladesh. And if I talk about they excel in research and projects like Dewberry is going international, right? And tell me something about BRAC University. It's going international. Dewberry is an underwater drone tech, right? BRAC University and Dewberry, right? So I don't think ChatGPT knows about Dewberry, right? So we can also create another uh, um, document, and it's still going to be able to talk about like BRAC University in a lot of details, but it's also going to talk a little bit about Dewberry. So this is quite interesting because, as you can see, before it didn't even know about what AHNSW was or what Antarys was or what I was, and now it can add its existing information about BRAC University, and also it can talk about like what the project Dewberry is all about. So as you can see, the answer came back, and it fetched most of the information from BRAC-U, obviously, with 74% similarity rate. So as you can see, Dewberry represents an innovative leap in underwater technology. The drone can be deployed. So as you can see, it adds lots of other extra information. And so yeah, gas exploration, environmental monitoring. So it added lots of extra information. International attention reflects bracket versus dedication. So as you can see that it added lots of extra information on top of the data that we provided. So this is how you can build and how you can add pretty much any data to your AI application, and you can just chat with it. You can build much more amazing applications with it. You can ask ChatGPT to format your output. You can do lots of things, guys. It's really amazing. So if you want to learn more about how AI works or how Antarys works, you can always go to docs.antarys.ai, and you can just get started. We have a Python client, and we also have a Node JavaScript client, so you can just use it with your favorite language. I'm going to be adding more support to other languages, but the exact script, you can just find it here. And you also have the full code, so you can just copy and paste it and just start playing with it. So if you want more examples, we also have Antarys samples where you can find you can work with actual OpenAI data. You can do image similarity searching, and you can also build the same RAG application with TypeScript. So you can just use it for no JavaScript project. So if you're into JavaScript, that's also fine. And you can just go to Antarys.ai to basically see and learn about what we're doing. You can take a look into the benchmarks to see how we're performing with according to other databases and according to the standard benchmarks, right? So how it actually performs in real life. So we are doing really good with image embeddings and image searching. So you can also check that out. We have all of the samples, and guys, just if you can, just join the waitlist. We're building on the most advanced AI data cloud platforms. So that's the work that we're doing. So definitely sign up for the waitlist, and see you guys in the next video. Hopefully I can create more tutorials so you guys can learn more about how to build RAG applications with Antarys. See you guys next time.